Hello students, good morning. Today we are going to start a new chapter in chemistry which is analytical chemistry given in chapter 4. So before coming to the main part of this chapter, let us try to understand the term analysis. In chemistry, analysis means determination of chemical components in a given sample. For example, a given sample which is unknown to you, we can determine with the help of chemical test about the various components in that sample. So this is called analysis. Now there are two types of analysis, as you can see, which is qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. In qualitative analysis, we study the identification of unknown substance using suitable reagent. Remember, reagent are the chemical substance that reacts with other substance. And here the reagent that we are going to deal with will be the strong alkali like sodium hydroxide and also weak alkali which is ammonium hydroxide. Coming to the next type of analysis, which is quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis is determination of composition of a mixture. But here what we are going to study is the qualitative analysis, where we are going to identify the unknown substance with the help of a chemical test that is done using suitable reagent. As I told you, in this chapter we will be using two reagents which will be sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. And in this chapter, the unknown substance that we are going to determine in a given sample will be the metal ion. For example, a salt is given to you and you are asked to find out which metal ion is present in it. You know, it can be done using this process, which will be coming under the analysis called chemical analysis or qualitative analysis. How will you carry out this analysis process? For this, an unknown sample will be given, that is, unknown salt will be given to you. You need to prepare a salt solution first using clean water, and then we are going to add a small drop of sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide to it. Immediately we notice a precipitate of certain color will be formed, and with the help of that color we can come to know about the types of metal ion present in that salt solution. Let us see how we can carry out this. Suppose this is a test tube and we have taken salt in it. We add water to it and we have got a salt solution. Now adding sodium hydroxide to it, it is noticed that a precipitate of certain color will be formed. For example, if this here the precipitate forming is of reddish brown color, then the metal ion present in this salt will be ferric ion, that is Fe3 plus ion. Remember, this Fe3 plus ion is called ferric ion. It means the salt solution or the salt that is added to water to prepare the salt solution contains ferric ion in it. So it could be FeCl3 or it could be Fe2SO4 whole 3, where you find the valency of iron is 3. Here also valency of iron is 3. So the sample what we have taken may be the salt containing ferric ion in it. which is known to us only with the help of this color, which is reddish brown. So this is just an example. There can be different colors forming on addition of sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide. And on the basis of that color only we can determine as to which kind of metal ion is present in that salt. So we are now going to discuss in detail one by one by taking example of different salts and which kind of metal ions will be present in it. So now you can see we are going to discuss the color of different salts or the precipitate of different salts giving different colors to determine the types of cation or the metal ion present in the salt. You can see here I am taking calcium salt first. You can see the heading action of sodium hydroxide on metallic salt solution. This metallic salt solution we can assume that it is unknown to us because we are going to identify which metal ion is present in it. So we can assume here that it is unknown to us. We don't know which kind of metal ion is present in the given salt. So we are starting with calcium salt. And you can see the cation present in it, which is also the metal ion present, we can say is Ca2 plus ion. Now how to confirm that this salt contains Ca2 plus ions? For this I say that you have to prepare calcium salt solution first. You take calcium salt solution and then add sodium hydroxide first in a few drops. That is a small drop of sodium hydroxide you should add to a solution of calcium nitrate. We will find a white precipitate will be formed. And this white precipitate is calcium hydroxide. That is, this is the reaction going to take place when we add sodium hydroxide to calcium nitrate solution. So the reaction forms calcium hydroxide, which will be white precipitate in color, and the other product will be sodium nitrate. Let me repeat once again. We are going to get this product on adding few drops of sodium hydroxide solution to this salt. Now suppose if you increase the quantity of sodium hydroxide to the same precipitate which you have already got, then it is found that in excess amount of sodium hydroxide, the white precipitate is sparingly soluble or sparingly dissolved. Here we are getting white precipitate, but when we increase the quantity of sodium hydroxide, it is found that white precipitate gets sparingly dissolved in it. So this gives an idea that the ion present in the given salt is calcium ion. We can now come to the copper salt, which contains Cu2 plus ion, that is Q plus ion present in it. So again, how are you going to come to know? As I said, you have to carry out the same process, the same test. First add few drops of sodium hydroxide to a solution of copper salt. Now copper salt can be any other soluble salt of copper. It can be either copper nitrate or copper sulfate or even copper chloride. So you can choose any of the salt, and on addition of small drops of sodium hydroxide, you will get a pale blue precipitate, which is cupric hydroxide. We are getting pale blue precipitate. You can see its formula is CuOH2. It is because of the formation of this cupric hydroxide, the precipitate looks pale blue color. But what happens when we increase the quantity of sodium hydroxide? That is, when sodium hydroxide is added in excess, Now in this case it is found that the pale blue precipitate remains insoluble. It does not dissolve. So this is an indication of cupric ion present in a given solvent. And today we have discussed about these two salts. Next day we can discuss about the color of the precipitate with few more salts. So your homework for today will be to learn the reactions. Thank you.